Thank you, and good evening. It is an honor for me to speak to you tonight about my friend Arnold Palmer. I'm sure that each of you in the room this evening has a great story about Arnold. Meeting him and having him look you in the eye, shaking one of the strongest and largest hands I've ever known, asking for his autograph, watching him win the US Open, the British Open, the Masters, captain the Ryder Cup team, and cry at his wife Winnie's funeral. He has been the driving force behind the game for more than 60 years, and what a legacy he has left us. Arnold Palmer is the most popular sports figure in history. What I wanted to share with you tonight are some personal stories that span more than 35 years, a friendship that I miss every day, but will live in my heart forever. I wanted to tell you about the man behind the legend, a hometown boy who never forgot where he came from. Arnold knew kings, played golf with many presidents and many celebrities, but deep down he was just a common man who never forgot his roots. His sister Lois once said, "My brother walks with kings and queens and comes home to Latrobe and eats hamburgers and hot dogs with us." Indeed, he was most at home in Latrobe. His parents, Doris and Deacon, raised Arnold and his three siblings in a small house on the golf course. His dad was the pro superintendent and taught Arnold the game. One of the great stories that Arnold shared with me was the story of him playing in the Western Pennsylvania Junior Tournament. He was playing the mayor's son. It was a close match, and on the 16th hole, Arnold missed a short putt and threw the putter. He went on to win the match. He was the champion. He gets in the car on the way home with his mother and father and is dead silent. He looks at his father and said, "Dad, aren't you proud?" The father said, "Arnold, if you ever do that again, you will never play golf." He never threw a club after that. I've spent many hours in Arnold's office in Latrobe. It is a walk through history, filled with photos, trophies, letters, medals, awards, and memories of one man's mark on history. It is also where Arnold personalized mementos for fans from all over the world with his distinctive signature. Just a note, if you sent something for Arnold to sign, you would always get it back. They spent out there at least $250,000 a year in postage. Amazing. Arnold attended the Wake Forest University but never graduated. And I'll tell you why he didn't graduate. His best friend at Wake Forest was a young man by the name of Buddy Worsham, whose brother was the pro at Oakmont and a US Open champion. There was a football game at Wake Forest that day, and there was also a dance at Duke. And Buddy and another golf team member asked Arnold to come with them, and Arnold said, "I'm going to stay. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed." Well, that night on the way back from the dance, both Buddy and the other fellow was killed. Now, that took such a toll on Arnold that he left school and joined the Coast Guard. He had amazing business sense and great instincts that helped him build a corporate empire that ranged from car dealerships to restaurants to hotels. Simply stated, Arnold was a man of integrity and honor. A handshake was his bond. In any company, was proud to be associated with him. Outside of his family, Arnold had two great loves, golf and aviation, and he excelled at both. The Arnold Palmer Airport, 1 mile from his home, was named for Arnold several years ago, and a beautiful bronze statue of him welcomes you as you enter the airport. In 1979, Arnold set the record for a solo flight around the world. Just a few years ago, when Arnold decided to hang up his wings, he and his pilot, Pete Luster, flew from Palm Desert in California to Orlando. From the moment they took off, they were giving clearance straight through to Orlando. And every air traffic controller saluted Arnold on his final journey. The plane with the iconic umbrella made a stunning flyover at Arnold's memorial service and thrilled the many mourners gathered to wish him farewell. Kindness was a core part of his nature. When he heard that our son Richard was graduating from high school, Arnold offered to come and speak. Imagine what a thrill it was for those students and their parents. When my mother was in the hospital recuperating, he would send her notes to the delight of the doctors and nurses, because every time the note came, it was an envelope with the umbrella outside the envelope, so they knew it was coming from Arnold. Anne-Marie and I were thrilled to be invited to his home and many events over the years and enjoy his warm and gracious hospitality. He would always welcome us with a big bear hug. It was like being with an old friend. A few years ago, we were invited to Washington, D.C. as Arnold was presented with the Congressional Gold Medal in the Capitol Rotunda. And we saw the greatest of the country wipe tears away as he was honored. And as so many of you will remember, Arnold was our first honoree at this dinner back in 1997. Arnold set the tone for what has become the largest golf dinner in the country, and it's helped the Ouimet Fund raise millions of dollars to provide financial assistance to our Ouimet scholars. Because of him, we've been able to attract the greatest names in golf, Nick Price tonight, and the former President of the United States, George H.W. Bush, to receive this award. It is impossible to summarize everything that Arnold was in just a few minutes. I know that he has touched so many of us in some way, and we all have our own special memories. So let's not be sad, let's be joyous that he was with us, and especially with the Ouimet Fund on these special nights. In closing, I would like to read a quote from the great British golf writer, Henry Longhurst. He made this statement in 1961 after the British Open at Royal Birkdale, which Arnold won. He said, "It is doubtful that there was a man present at Birkdale who wanted Palmer to lose. It's impossible to overpraise the tact and charm with which this American has conducted himself on his 2 visits to Britain. He has no fancy airs or graces. He wears no fancy clothes. He makes no fancy speeches. He simply says and does exactly the right thing at the right time, and that is enough. Please join me in a toast to Arnold, a hometown boy who changed the face of golf forever. Cheers." Thank you.